Good morning to you all, dear students. So today we're going to start with a new topic, that is problems farmers face under rural livelihoods. So this is our topic of discussion for today. Alright, so our aim for today is students will be able to analyze the challenges farmers face with regard to debt, poverty, inequality, and the impact these have on their livelihoods. Resources required for our class is your notebook, your exit content book. Keywords for today is loan and debt. Alright, so what is the meaning of loan? It is a sum of money or other valuables or consideration that an individual, group, or other legal entity borrows from another individual, group, or legal entity. That is known as loan. And what is debt? The state or condition of owing something to another. In other words, pakyo, okay, that is known as debt. So see, the block has already covered the different types of occupations that people have in rural areas. Okay, so what did we learn about rural livelihoods? What did we learn about rural livelihoods? Okay, students, so see, we have learned that so far people in villages mainly they do farming. Okay, so people mostly who live in the villages they do farming. All right, so beside farming they also do other jobs, such as they also rear cattle, that is for milk, and some they do non-agricultural jobs and are porters, carpenters, and fishermen. All right, and some they make handicrafts, and some they drive bullock cart or rickshaw. All right, and we have also learned that all farmers they are not equal. Okay, the big farmer is in a better position. Why? Because he owns more land and usually has more than one way to earn money, okay, than the agricultural laborers and small farmers. All right, so the agricultural laborers they don't have land on their own, so also the small farmers they own only a small piece of land. Okay, so let's read the poem. Okay, so let's read this poem. Okay, the hungry boy. Okay, so a hungry a hungry bony boy begs his mama for food. Mama, teary eye, points to the sun glowing red. Then give me that bread now. I haven't eaten since night. My stomach is growling. Let this hot bread cool down, son. So far, yet so scorching. It may blister your mouth, said Mamma. The hot sun slowly hid behind the mountain, and waiting for his bread, the bony boy went to sleep hungry again. Adapted from a poem by late Sri Krishna Kalam, a farmer poet. Okay, so this is a poem about a hungry boy. Alright, so for that you please go through this one. Okay, Krishna Kalam. Okay, so I want all of you to read this particular content. Alright, that is by yourself. Okay, I'm not going to read for you. You will find in your textbook. Alright, under page number 55. You'll find in page number 55. Okay, so please take out your textbook and go to page 55 and read this particular content. Alright, this station. Okay. Alright, so based on our reading from the poem. Alright, what is the farmer poet Krishna trying to say through the poem? What is the farmer poet Krishna Kalam trying to say through the poem? Talking about question number 1. Okay, so from the poem we have learned that the poem tells us about a hungry boy who asks for food, that is, from his mother. But the mother is unable to give him any. Okay, and hence the boy goes to sleep on an empty stomach. Kalam, that is the poem. Okay, Krishna Kalam, who was a farmer himself, has described the poor condition of farmers through the poem. Alright, so Kalam gave up his life as he was unable to pay back a loan because he did not have a good harvest and had become very poor. Okay, so it is unfortunate that farmers go hungry when they are the ones who provide us food. Alright, we know that the farmers they provide us food, okay, but many a time the farmer themselves they go hungry, okay. Alright, and question number two, why do farmers have to borrow money from money lenders? Do all farmers have to borrow money, and why? Alright, have you come across a farmers borrowing money from money lenders? And do all the farmers have to borrow money, and why? Alright, so yes, it is. Alright, farmers sometimes they borrow money, okay, like agricultural laborers like Sita and small farmers like Murli, as we have learned, and Kalam, they need to borrow money. Alright, big farmers like Subramaniam, they do not have to borrow money, okay, because they not only own huge farmlands but they also have rice mill and shop of their own. So not all the farmers they have to borrow money, okay. Big farmers they don't have to borrow money, like Subramanian we have learned from the case study, right? So they do not have to depend on the crops alone to earn money because they have even other jobs. Alright, on the other hand, person like Sita from the case study who works on someone else's land does not have a permanent job. Alright, so when the harvest is over, Sita she has to find another job to survive. Alright, and if she cannot find another job, she has to borrow money, okay, so that she can meet the needs of her family. Alright, and small farmers like Murli also have to borrow money, that is to buy fertilizer and seeds to grow crops in their small plot of land. And if they are unable to return the money, what do? They have to sell the crop that they grow to the money lender at a cheaper price, at a low price. Alright, so those are the consequences that farmers face, okay. Now another question here is talking about this one, okay. Are these farmers always able to repay the money they borrow? How would they be able to repay the loan? Do you think all those farmers who borrow money are able to repay the money to the money lender? All right, it is not, okay. It is no. The answer is no, okay. See, some farmers like Kalam they are not able to repay the loan, so they are in debt. As we have learned, what is debt, right? So they can only repay the money if they have a good harvest, right? Which will depend on good rainfall or good irrigation facilities, and sell their crop at a good price. That is how they can able to repay the loan, okay. However, if they have to earn much more than the amount borrowed to repay the money and also meet their own needs, right? Suppose, alright, take the example, a farmer has a debt of 10,000, alright, means baki of 10,000, okay, and he has to earn much more than 10,000 so that he can repay the loan, so also he can use the rest of the money for buying food and other things for his family. Alright, so he not only has to earn 10,000, but he has to earn more than 10,000 so that 10,000 he can repay to the money lenders. So also the rest of the money he can use for his family purpose. Alright, so when are farmers unable to repay the loan, and what happens when farmers are unable to pay back their loan? How does it affect their lives? Second question, when are farmers unable to repay their loan? What happens when farmers are unable to pay back their loan? How does it affect their lives? Alright, see. When are farmers unable to repay their loan? See, when small farmers like Murli and Kalam are unable to repay the loan, if there is a drought, if there is no rainfall at all, okay, and in that case, they are unable to have a good harvest or unable to sell their crops to pay back the loan. And if an agricultural laborers like Sita takes a loan, then she may not be able to pay back the loan as she remains jobless. That is after the harvest season is over. Alright, and what actually happens when farmers are unable to pay back their loan, or how does it affect their life? So when farmers are unable to pay back their loan, they are caught in debt. Right, means they become a debtor, okay? And if the debt continue for a longer period of time, some farmer they need to migrate to cities. They need to go to cities and town. There is to look for other job to earn their living. Alright, so they find jobs at construction site as laborers or as cart rickshaw puller or even as coolies or street vendors. That is how they ended up their life, alright, in order to sustain. Hence, these days, a lot of people from villages they are migrating to towns and cities that is in search of job. Alright, so in some cases, when farmers are either not able to repay the loan or they are able to find other jobs, they become so poor that they are unable to look after their families. So in these situations, what happened? Some may even kill themselves, means suicide. Alright, and in the last few years, so many farmers in Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh so have killed themselves, right, because they were in debt and had become very poor due to bad or no harvest at all. Okay, last question, how can the government help these farmers? How can the government help poor farmers? All right, there are lots of things that the government can do. Okay, so how, in what way? So the government can help the farmers by giving good irrigation facilities so that they don't depend on the rains alone. Alright, that is providing them with, so also providing them with seeds and fertilizers that is at a cheaper price, at a cheaper rate. Alright, they can also set up banks in villages. The government they can also set up banks in villages so that farmers don't have to borrow money from money lenders and then sell their crops at a cheap price to repay the loan, so that they can borrow money from the bank itself, not from the money lenders who charge higher interest rate. Okay, so that is how the government they can help the farmers. Now things to do, you have to do my learning chart. Okay, complete this my learning chart. So you do practice question number 10. Okay, problems farmers face. So that is all for our class for today. Thank you, take care, and have a nice day.